Henry, congratulations on being inducted to the Liberty Athletics Hall of Fame. The induction ceremony is tonight. How have the thoughts and emotions met reality as you came on the campus today?
Well, I got the phone call from Tim in March, and I said, well, I got a long way to go before I can actually think about what's going to happen. So I woke up this morning. I said, Janetta, that's my wife. So I'm a little nervous. She said, why? I said, because I'm scared, because I don't know what's going to happen when I get there. But I come around and look at the campus. It's a beautiful campus. It's nothing like what it was when I was here in '89. So as we're riding down the road, I wrote my speech, trying to memorize my speech for when the banquet starts, and I'm still a little nervous about it. But I'll get through it.
Henry, you mentioned it'd been 31 years since you had stepped foot last on this campus. What was that moment like for you today?
Well, a bittersweet moment. Like I said, I won the Penn relays and placed in the decathlon in the NCAA Division I. And then I left, and then I found my wife. Then we had kids, and I felt like I needed to just stay home and help raise the kids, and that's probably one of the reasons I didn't come back, because one of my things was being true to the family. So I had a trucking job, then I got a job in the so-called office for a couple of companies, major companies, one a soft drink company, the other one a major pizza distributor. And to tell the truth about it, I really didn't have time to come back because I was taking care of my family.
Transferred into Liberty. Take me back to that moment when you decided to be a Flame, and what were some of the selling points to come to school here? Well,
to start off with, Coach Tolzman. He had a meeting with everybody. He said, I'll be moving to Liberty University. So I think he took about maybe 6 or 7 of his best guys, and he asked us if we wanted to go with him. He said if not, he'll fill out the transfer paper so we can go to anywhere we wanted to continue our track career. But me and Coach, we had a bond back then, and I actually believed what he was telling me, that I could actually be that next Olympian or be that next Division I athlete, so I decided I'll follow him to Liberty. And back then, we didn't have a phone, so when it started, they was doing the enrollment, and I got here late, and he didn't know I was coming. So when I finally got up here, I found him. I said, Coach, I'm here, and he's like, oh man, I didn't think you was coming. And then we got enrolled, and one thing led to another, now I'm here.
Henry, you were a thrower here. You did the decathlon. What was your favorite event?
Discus and the hurdles.
Okay. Why?
Discus because I had a long wingspan, and I could actually get it out there. It wasn't consistent all the time. It was usually somewhere around 160 to 170, but that was one of the events I did coming out of high school, and I actually liked that event. And I never did the hurdles until I actually came to college and actually learned how to do those pretty well, so I actually enjoyed the hurdles. The event that I hated the most, the 1500.
Nobody likes going around that track 4 times.
I was like, you're a speed guy, right?
Yeah,
not long distance. There you go.
No, that was it.
You mentioned the hurdles. I can imagine how challenging that is to learn. What do you remember about trying that for the first time?
Well, at the beginning it was kind of tough because I was jumping over the hurdles instead of running over the hurdles, so I had to learn that part about it. So the coach would always say, you need to learn how to expand your body so you can actually ride over the hurdles instead of jumping over the hurdles. And back then, with my knee being bad, I couldn't actually get to the first hurdle like I was supposed to. Well, let me take that back. I got to the first hurdle too fast because it's usually like, I think it was 8 strides to the first hurdle, then it was 3 in between. So I used to take off on my right leg, so we had to change it around where I could take off on my left leg. That way I can get there within the 7 strides and start jumping the hurdles. But it was actually a pretty good event. I enjoyed it.
How often have you been in touch with Coach Tolzma between now and then?
The last time we talked is when Tim called, and he called me right after that. That's the last time we spoke. And let me take that back. I think we spoke maybe 2 or 3 years after I left because I was working for Coca-Cola, and he does remember that. But that's the last time we spoke.
When you watch track and field events now, do you on TV, video stream, and if so, do you enjoy watching track and field?
Yeah, it brings back a lot of memories. Mm-hmm. But you know, some of the times and the speeds that these guys are doing now, it's incredible. Now back then we had some guys that was pretty good, but now, like I said, when I was back running track, the qualifying time for the decathlon was 7,800. Now I think the qualifying time or mark is 8,100. So that just shows you how well the athletes are training now.
When we talk to inductees, Henry, we hear stories on the people that they were around when they were on campus and the classmates they had. How much of an impact did your classmates and a professor or two have on you here?
Impact. It's a tough question because, like I said, everything was individual. I knew a lot of guys on the track team, but once we came to the track meet, we was a family as one. But once we left the track meet, or once we left training, they all went on about their own little business. So there really wasn't a whole lot of impact. Now, granted, there was a couple of guys I was actually close to while I was here, like Gerald Swan, Willie Parker, Scott Queen. Those are the guys I like to talk to from time to time. But like I said, after training, after the track practice and after the meets, we all had our separate things, like studying and whatever the case may be. So there wasn't really a whole lot of impact as far as camaraderie with the other guys.
As we tape this an hour or so before the event, what are you looking forward to with the event tonight and mingling with former inductees and those in your class this year?
Well, I was hoping that maybe I could see some guys I actually went to school with. They may not be here now, but one thing I want to do, I can't wait to see Coach Sullivan. I really like to see him. It's been a long time since I've seen him. You know, when we started texting back and forth, I actually shed a tear because he was a good guy to me, and I enjoyed that guy. But, you know, if I could see a Scott Queen right now or Willie Parker or Gerald Swan, that would be icing on the cake because those guys, they were good guys when they was here.
Henry, we appreciate your time. Welcome to the Liberty Athletics Hall of Fame.
All right, thanks.